Ready to start? Ready to record? Okay, great. Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, August 21st, 2025. I'm Joan McDonald, the Chair of the New York State Bridge Authority. This meeting has been noticed according to the Public Officers and Public Meetings Law of the State of New York. I will call the roll to ensure we have a quorum. Alex Berardi.
Present.
Lanny Gilbert.
Here.
Roger Higgins.
Here.
Freddie Garcia.
Here.
And I am present as well. We have a quorum. Do I have a motion to open today's meeting?
Second.
Thank you. Moved by Lanny and second by Roger. The meeting is now opened. Chris, do we have any public comments?
Not today.
Okay, and we have no community appreciation employee recognition awards. So next up on the agenda is to adopt the regular meeting minutes of July 17th, 2025. Do the board members have any questions or comments on those meeting minutes? Okay, do I have a motion to accept and adopt the meeting minutes?
So.
Thank you,
Right.
Roger. Second, Freddie, thank you. I'll call the vote. Alex Berardi.
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert.
Aye.
Roger Higgins.
Aye.
Freddie Garcia.
Aye.
And I vote in the affirmative. The meeting minutes are approved and adopted. Next, I'll turn it over to Minoshka to do her reports to the board.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Madam Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. This month, we've done a lot in terms of internal affairs. This week, we concluded our summer internship program. We welcome a remarkable group of students who supported NYSBA maintenance, IT, tolling, command center administration, HR, and the executive team. Highlights included our final STEM day on July 25th. The New York State Police demonstrated their drone program, followed by a command center tour to explore real-time monitoring and emergency response operation. On August 8th, the DC Police presented careers related to the environments, and interns also enjoyed interactive activities matching career stories to NYSBA leaders and a bridge building challenge. In the future endeavor. We also launched the Day in the Life program, giving employees the opportunity to shadow colleagues in different departments. The first group of participants will begin over the coming weeks with the goal of strengthening interdepartmental understanding, collaboration, and teamwork. And in terms of our pet therapy program, as you remember, we launched this initiative earlier this year as part of our employee wellness and trauma informed care efforts. We have already hosted 6 visits from volunteer partners. Staff from security, maintenance, command center, and headquarters have participated, and it has strong interest from other agencies, including an invitation to present at IBTTA, annual Best of IBTTA. We presented at the beginning of the year a panel talking about our program that we, in disclosure form, we copied from Westchester in her agency, and we decided to do something similar. We presented to IBTTA, and it was chosen as one of the best panels of the year. In terms of community engagement, just a reminder that on September 20th, we are celebrating the Rip and Winkle 90th anniversary. And we will celebrate along with the 9th annual Skyward Arts Festival on the Catskill side of the bridge. Our planning committee is working to make this another successful event. Please mark your calendars to enjoy classic cards that we're going to have again, Hudson Valley artwork and community activities honoring the bridge's history and economic impact. In terms of the redecking project, design work is progressing. We are at the final stages, pretty much. With all the environmental approvals complete and posted online. Public updates will be shared this fall as we finalize design and prepare construction proposals. We hosted a better understanding waterway safety challenges meeting with our stakeholders to include law enforcement, the U.S. Coast Guard, port operators, and Hudson River pilots from KRB and Rip Van Winkle to explore enhanced coordination, risk mitigation, and information sharing. The discussion focused on assessing current protocols, identifying potential risks, including those outside our direct jurisdiction, and improving data and information sharing to better track trends affecting the waterways. Next steps include reviewing and updating the contract protocols that were shared, developing a shared communication channel, and mapping out scenarios where local and state responders would be first on scene before the Coast Guard arrives in case of any major accident. We also met with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey to exchange best practices. Our command center also, with the interns, toured the Orange County Emergency Service 911 Center, gaining insight into emergency response coordination and operation. Interns gained real-world exposure to emergency response coordination and best practice. We also met with the MTA and NYSBA leadership to share insights on drone programs, waterway safety, staff safety, suicide deterrent fencing, speed enforcement, and wellness initiatives, sparking interest in similar programs. This meeting included also a site visit to the Henry Hudson Bridge. In terms of visits, I also personally visited Governor Hochul in Rochester to celebrate the Erie Canal's bicentennial. We want to congratulate the Canal Corporation and the Power Authority on this historic milestone of one of the greatest engineering marvels of the 19th century. On July 25th, we briefed Dutchess County Executive Sue Serino, as well as staff from Dutchess County and New York State DOT Region 8 on the upcoming East Approach rehabilitation of the Mid-Hudson Bridge. We're working to set up similar meetings with other stakeholders in the area on implementing a public outreach plan to keep communities informed. In late July, I also traveled to Detroit and presented at the International Bridge Tunnel and Turnpike Association 2025 Maintenance Engineering and Roadway Operations Workshop on safeguarding bridges, insights from 2025 NTSB recommendation. This session examined the growing challenges faced by bridge authorities and agencies responsible for structures over navigable ways. In response to recent recommendation from the National Transportation Safety Board, bridge operators and owners are being urged to assist in the risk of vessel strikes and consider mitigation strategies to protect critical infrastructure, in particular for bridges that were built before the current guidelines were established. Attendees expressed strong interest in NYSBA's proactive approach, particularly the robust partnerships we have established with the Coast Guard and other agencies dedicated to protecting the Hudson Riverway. In terms of approved travel, I traveled to the Erie Canal and Chair approved my travels, and the Director of Safety and Security, Danielle Mas, I approved her travel to the Q3 quarterly knowledge sharing meeting in July with the Coast Guard. In terms of strategic initiatives, we continue to focus in all of them. I wanted to highlight overall excellence. We focus in fostering operational excellence and streamlining operations. Some of our KPIs include the increasing speaking invitations and participation within national organizations. As I mentioned before, NYSBA presented in the HR IBTTA section with the pet therapy program, and that presentation was selected as best of IBTTA. I also personally traveled to Detroit to present in the engineering conference regarding vessel strikes and risk mitigations that the Bridge Authority currently has underway. And in terms of leadership position within industry association, we continue to pursue having our directors and personnel join national organizations. We have great news, but it's a secret. We'll share next time that we are very excited about. And in terms of promoting a positive work environment, that was one of our objectives as well. We are finalizing our second climate survey that we're gonna be submitting to everyone in the agency. The first one that we did was very fruitful. We got a lot of feedback that allows us to improve our protocols and improve the way that we do business. And now we decide one of the feedback that we received is that it will be good to have like agency-wide meetings. So we decided to put an all-hands staff meeting, and we're gonna do it online so people from all bridges could participate. And we're gonna record it and put it in the intranet so those that can participate could watch it later. In terms of finance, we have a contract that we're gonna be putting forward with the engineering group. In terms of traffic and revenue, July 2025, we have 5.9 million vehicles. That is an increase of 2.7% as compared to July 2024. And this represents the highest traffic volume of the past 5 years. The composition of this traffic represented 85.2% of Easy Pass utilization and approximately 7.58% of commercial vehicles. This reflects a higher commercial vehicle also as compared to July of 2024, where it used to be 6.28% commercial. In terms of revenue, in the month of June, we received $8.2 million, of which 79% was Easy Pass, 16% tolls by mail, and 5% fines and fees. And in terms of activities to report, we are supporting again, as we've done for the last almost 20 years, the Walkway Over the Hudson's Terry Night event. This is with $1,000. This is an event that they use to improve the funds. They used to improve the bridge itself as well as the programmatic elements that they run every year. So this concludes my report from the chair. Thank you so much.
Questions, comments from commissioners? I do want to commend you, Minoshka, and the team, and Danielle for having the strong partnership with the Coast Guard, because in my years of experience in government, working, with the federal agencies, particularly when it comes to waterways, can be challenging. So having that partnership is very important. So that, and good morning.
First, I'd like to introduce a new member to our engineering team.
Okay.
We have Mr. Yen Nebetuit Goldie. But
Okay.
he's graciously allowed us to call him by his first syllable. Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome, Yen.
He'll be the manager of contracts.
Oh,
and
terrific. Welcome.
he'll
Yep, thank
be,
you.
shadowing George Fong for the next couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
And George has graciously been hanging in there for us.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest first things, we threw him right into the approach
Yeah.
project. So he's been studying the plan and the contract proposal. He's
Terrific.
gonna dive right in.
Terrific. Great.
We do have a few procurement items that we discussed. The first item is the authority has a non-toll revenue stream, which is dark fiber, and that is where we've installed, fiber optics on our infrastructure that allows us to, rent those facilities. So of course, that's not, a core expertise of the agency. So we have, had a contract with a leasing agent, and that contract, initial 3-year contract, was extended, for 1 year. We first had it in 2021, and that contract, that leasing agent has gone out for us and has been soliciting, vendors. We do have, 12 active leases, and we've been able to get a commitment for us for, over $7 million over a 10-year, extension period.
Great.
So we would like him to continue, going out and getting, more vendors for us. So we would like to extend his contract, utilize the option of the next, 1-year extension. And, the fees are broken down in your report. And essentially it's $150 per hour plus, a percentage of the revenues. But we do have a max budget of $75,000 for this 1-year extension. And we're therefore putting that to the board for approval.
Questions, comments from the board? Okay, do I have a motion to approve and adopt?
So moved.
Thank you, Roger. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Alex. I'll call the vote. Lanny Gilbert?
Here, well, yes.
Yeah, you're here.
Yes.
Okay.
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Roger Higgins,
Aye.
Freddie Garcia, and I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. I know it's still a little early.
I'm only up to here on my coffee.
Okay, next up
Yeah.
there.
The next, procurement item is, HVA system, heat and ventilation system for the computer room servers. Of course, in this day and age, we know, computer servers are the backbone of any operation. And, we currently have a HVA system that's, not performing optimally. And we actually have backup systems, currently running, cooling down the computer servers. So we want to be able to, go in and get a new system. So we did put out, our RFP for bid. We did receive, initially 7 vendors who were interested in the proposal package, but we only actually received 1 bid. It is, a essential item that we want to move forward with. So we are looking to put to the board for approval for, Trash Mechanical, who submitted a bid of $375,000, which is within reasonable estimates for what we want. We're looking to, put to the board for approval to accept this bid and, do the contract.
Questions, comments? And I,
We
go
were
ahead.
broken, I didn't know we were on backup.
And, you know, I think it was interesting that 7 contractors, you know, requested and only 1 bid, because I have been reading a lot that mechanical, electrical engineers are high demand. And the workforce isn't, you know, it needs to step up to get more people to fill those slots. So I'm glad we got 1.
Yeah. And again, these are trades.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
don't teach us much.
But now they need to.
More.
Now they
Yeah.
need to. They need to. Okay, do I have a motion to approve and adopt the resolution?
Move it.
Thank you, Freddie. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Lanny. I'll call the vote. Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Roger Higgins,
Aye.
Freddie Garcia,
Aye.
and I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. Next up.
Next up is, we do have, maintenance equipment
Mhm.
that, does need to be replaced over time. And one of the equipment that we have is, asphalt melting equipment, because as you can see when, on the roadway surfaces, whenever you have any crack, we need to seal them because in the winter time when the water gets in there, freeze them thaws and make potholes. So one of the equipment that we're trying to replace is a Craft Co Super, super hot shot sealing melter. So it actually melts the asphalt bucket and we're able to convert that to a liquid to seal the roadway. So we've actually held on to the existing equipment since 1991, but it's about time to
Time
replace
to
that.
replace?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when we went to the vendor for an estimate, it was $107,000. However, which is honorable, the vendor just told us that they just got a contract with New York State Thruway for purchasing 16 of those
For
equipment.
their
For
network.
theirs, and they got a discounted price of $65,000.
So we were able to piggyback
So
on
we were
theirs.
able to
Good.
piggyback on them.
That was very honorable. That was very honorable.
Yeah, we piggyback on that contract. They still got their 16 and we got one.
Okay,
We're paying directly. We're not, transferring funds. So we're looking to the board for approval, to be able to save $40,000.
great.
So we're looking for approval to make the purchase of, the Craft or Super Shot Crack Sealing Melter for $65,220.
Great. Questions, comments? Do I have a motion to approve and adopt?
So,
Thank you, Roger. Do I have a second?
second.
Thank you, Lanny. I'll call the vote. Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Roger Higgins, Freddie Garcia,
Aye.
and I vote in the affirmative. The resolution's approved and adopted. Next up, Eric.
Also, again, it's maintenance equipment. Our equipment for power is based on air compression. So we do have a tow behind air compressor. Again, this is an older unit. It's a 1986 unit, and it's done a lot of work for us, but it's time to upgrade. This time we didn't have any.
We didn't have any.
To take it back on. So we're getting it at a direct cost, and again, it's a reasonable cost for the type of equipment that it is. And it's, we're getting it from the Tucson Bobcat dealer right here in Marlboro, and for a price of $29,670. So we're putting this to the board for approval to purchase the replacement.
Yeah, and it's nice to be able to purchase local, so that's good. All right. Questions, comments from the board? Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, Alex. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Freddie. I'll call the vote. Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Roger Higgins, Freddie Garcia,
Aye.
and I vote in the affirmative.
Yeah.
The resolution is approved and adopted. Next up, Eric, your monthly. Oh, no.
No,
Yep, you got the
I have
you got
one more
the- you got one more
procurement.
procurement.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and again, we generally have a replacement protocol that we
Mhm.
look at. So whenever a vehicle reaches a certain age and mileage, we review it for replacement based on its performance. So we actually had a 2018 Malibu Chevy Malibu hybrid vehicle, which we're gonna be up for review for replacement. Unfortunately, it actually got caught up in a recent flood that we had and was totaled. We got caught up in that flood, so that was totaled. So it actually accelerated our review.
Yep.
So we are taking this opportunity also to purchase a plug-in hybrid, which goes also into our decarbonization program. So we will get credit for that as we make this replacement purchase. We did put out using OGS mini bids.
Yep.
And we did get a low bid for this car at $48,183. And we're putting that to the board for approval. Also, we'll be getting the carbonization credit when we make this purchase.
Yeah, I didn't catch that before, but it says that must be entered into service by September 30th. Is that the
Take it. No, that's not for you.
Where does it say that?
What that?
This is on page 62, or the two.
Oh. Yeah, we already got the credit from the purchase. So we had to make the purchase earlier so we could get, there was a certain credit that we get directly from the dealer. The previous purchase was, the previous protocol was we would purchase and then send in for reimbursement. But this makes it much smoother if we could
We
get
get the
the
credit.
credit from the dealer. So
Yeah.
that's why we make that purchase.
Other questions, comments?
I heard Hyundai is offering 0% financing.
We're
at 60 months.
We actually went with Hyundai because they do have a good warranty program.
Yeah.
So after evaluating various options, we actually chose the Hyundai because of the warranty option.
Great, great. Okay, do I have a motion?
So,
Thank you, Lanny. Thank you, Roger. Lanny Gilbert,
I,
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Roger Higgins, Kevin Garcia,
Aye.
and I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. Now the monthly jobs in progress, Eric.
The jobs in progress, we first I'll start with the Bear Mountain Bridge.
Mhm.
The project is continuing in design. We actually received 70% plans earlier this month. And we do have the consultants actually doing in-field inspections this week. And that's mainly because we want the project to has the most up-to-date inspection data.
Yeah.
We don't want any uncertainties in the field. So they're out in the field doing inspections this week. And that project is in design, and we are, as Vanessa mentioned before, we're planning on setting up another outreach program sometime in September.
And we've done all the meetings with state DEC and parks, et
Yeah,
cetera,
all.
and
And
River Keeper
other-
and Scenic Hudson, et cetera. Okay, great.
The next project up is the Mid Hudson Bridge. I think in upcoming meetings, Mr. Yang will be reporting on that.
Okay, great.
But we have all the contracts out for signature, and we've received the contracts back for inspections and for the railroad agreement. And we do have startup meeting planned
Okay.
for September 10th.
Mhm.
And we'll be getting all the stakeholders and all the participants in one room and make sure we go to an agenda. And everybody will be on board and get to meet the project going. And the last one is, we've been carrying this for a while. Our onboard emergency contractor, Hudson Valley, they've been working on the Mid Hudson Arch project that we had a structural issue there, and they've finally completed that project, and they've removed the temporary supports. All the permanent supports are in place, so they're closing out that site. But we also have them on board, which you had approved earlier in previous meetings, that they help us out on the other bridges where any flags that come up during the course of inspections. We have them right on board to be able to make those repairs. So they've finished the Mid Hudson Arch Bridge, but they're continuing to be our support for the other bridges.
Great. Questions, comments from the board? Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
so moved.
Thank you, Lanny. Do I have a second? Thank you, Freddie. I'll call the vote. Lanny Gilbert.
Aye.
Alex Berardi.
Aye.
Roger Higgins. Freddie Garcia.
Aye.
And I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. Thank you, Eric. Brian, financial.
Morning, thank you. Investment report, there are 11 investments, mostly routine nature. You're gonna see interest rates starting to slide a little bit. The yield curve does remain somewhat inverted, particularly on the short end of the curve, but we're starting to see more on the longer end, a little bit longer. I wouldn't say all the way out. You're starting to see some more in the 3% range.
Yeah.
So it is happening. If they do drop rates, I wouldn't see an impact there. We're still doing fairly well overall. If you look at the inventory, we still stand at 127,877,000 available for the capital program. As of June, we made 65,000 in interest investment income. Yield dropped to 4.10. Again, this is all related to prevailing market rates.
Good that we built up a nice little cushion over the last, when the interest rates have been higher, so.
Well, when I did, the problem is, with the the yield curve inverted.
Yep.
Okay, I'm a little reluctant to keep shoving money into short term and then have them drop the interest rate. It's all gonna drop like a rock.
Yep,
So I'm trying to go and extend it out a little more. We have some big projects coming up.
right,
And trying to, plan when we will require spending those funds.
Yeah.
A little difficult without contracts in place.
Yep.
So it's a bit of a guess at this point.
and the price of contracts are going up, not down. So it is, yeah, we are seeing that everywhere.
I was going to, just, and I know I don't want to put you on the spot, but I know we're talking about just so people realize, or whoever may be listening in, that while we may have a significant fund balance of, what is it, 127? How much of that is already earmarked for a project?
All of it.
There you
And
go.
then some.
Thank you. Okay, I just want to make sure that people don't think we have $127 million cushion.
Right, that is an excellent point. Excellent point, so,
And all of those are for safety related
Yeah.
repairs to the
Right.
bridges. There's virtually nothing in there other than jobs that are required to maintain the 5. As the level 5 rating on the bridges,
Right.
as the authority is committed to under its finance.
yeah, it's bond covenants, right?
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, well, good news and cautionary tale, so, do any other questions from the board members? Do I have a motion to approve?
So,
Thank you, Roger. Second,
Second.
Lanny, okay. Lanny Gilbert,
I,
Alex Berardi.
Aye.
Roger Higgins.
Aye.
Freddie Garcia.
Aye.
And I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. Next up, Brian, our annual payment to our friends of civil service.
Yes, civil services billed us for the year ending March 31st, 2025, 50,445. You'll notice, obviously, with the transition to all electronic tolling, we've seen some reduction in staffing in the civil service titles. We have had changes to positions, not all of them were filled with civil service titles. The rate per person still stands at $297.02, the same as the prior year.
It's a good friend.
Yes. Nice one.
Flat friend is good in this regard.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion to approve that? Okay, thanks, Roger. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Freddie. Lanny Gilbert.
Aye.
Alex Berardi.
Aye.
Roger Higgins.
Aye.
Freddie Garcia. And I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. Okay, that's it for this month, right, Brian? Next month is the.
Budget,
big budget.
Purchase and revenues and budget operating.
An important meeting for us all. All right, we have no human resource issues today. IT, Mark.
So, under the system-wide camera replacement capital project, we're continuing to replace non-functional or end-of-life security cameras. And so we're requesting from the board approval to move forward with, under Argent Associates, an amount not to exceed $57,267.55.
Okay, pretty straightforward. Questions, comments?
First time it's not Francine asking for the cameras.
That is.
Let's not terminate.
So is that a motion to approve and adopt? Okay, Alex, okay, thanks, Roger. Lanny Gilbert,
I,
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Roger, Freddie Garcia.
Aye.
Okay,
Sorry, I didn't get the second.
oh,
I'll second.
okay.
Thank you.
Do I need to call the vote again or you've got them?
I got it.
Okay,
Thank you.
Freddie, did you You voted, yep, and I vote in the affirmative. All right, we have no bridge operations from Danielle, no command center, no electronic polling, no media. But we do have a presentation to the board on the overnight pedestrian bridge report, an initiative that we put in place, I guess, 3 years ago, I think. So James Cotter, you're going to present. Take it away.
Good morning. My name is James Cotter. I'll be presenting on the overnight pedestrian crossings. Specifically, we're going to be looking at the Rip Van Winkle and Newburgh Beacon bridges, because those were the bridges we opened to overnight pedestrian traffic at the start of the program, Newburgh. So the goal of presentation here is just to demonstrate what changes have occurred and what infrastructure we introduced to allow for overnight pedestrians to cross. We made sure to pay attention to seasonal variance because obviously January is not the same as July in terms of how much pedestrians want to be out after dark. And we want to determine if the policies ultimately resulted in improved community connectedness. Our bridges are the sole resources that connect relatively large communities like Newburgh and Beacon. So the Bridge Authority's #1 priority is the safety of its employees and the traveling public, as stated in our mission statement. And the safety objective #1 is to ensure the health, safety, and security of our customers, which includes people who might frequent the bridge as pedestrians or cyclists. So before we were able to introduce overnight pedestrian access, the board was very interested in safety and lighting of those sidewalks. So to reduce the pedestrian incidents in pathways, particularly at nighttime, the authority updated the facilities with motion activated path lighting upgrades. And these are solar powered by and large, which aligns with our sustainability mission. So here, I think a picture is worth 1,000 words. You can see before and after we introduced improved lighting at the Newburgh Beacon Bridge. This shows the east end of the walkway with an image taken, I think roughly in 2019, and then the same one taken just a week ago. So obviously, in terms of safety, that's going to be a big deal, and even side benefits to driver safety when you see the actual roadway being more lit than it used to be. Rip Van Winkle, we employ a lot more of the solar lighting. Now, that image on the left has a person in it. I'd like to indicate to you that at the right-hand side of that is an individual walking across the bridge before we introduced the solar lighting, and then roughly in the same area where we introduced the motion-activated lighting, so as pedestrians cross, the lights light up as they proceed. So makes a really big difference for knowing where you are and for monitoring of pedestrians that are crossing at night. And again, these are solar powered, so they really do help with the sustainability objectives. And also it doesn't require the same level of additional wiring and, lighting requirements to make whole new street lights in places where they didn't exist. So we'll start talking about Newburgh in terms of pedestrian activity. We officially opened the sidewalk for continuous access in Q4 of 2022. Saw kind of a delayed uptick there, and until Q4 of 2023, we didn't really see a significant increase in activity. Starting in Q4, we really did, and then heading into 2024 and 2025, we continue to see all-time highs with overnight pedestrian activity. The increases range, to 1,200, 1,700 more crossings per quarter. So overall, with the goal being to allow pedestrians to gain access from one side of, Newburgh to the Beacon side, the train station, you can see that this has clearly been a success in terms of giving people that opportunity. So those key observations, there was that adjustment lag. I think people gradually, maybe word of mouth or, continued exposure to it resulted in more people taking advantage of that resource. Quarters 2 and 3 always demonstrate, whether it's traffic, whether it's pedestrians, significantly more usage, longer daylight hours, all those things play a role. And yeah, you can definitely see, I mean, the percentages are 300 to 350% increases in quarters 2 and 3 before and after. So the Rip Van Winkle Bridge was the more recent introduction. We introduced that in April of 2024. So you can see significant increases. Obviously, Catskill and Hudson are smaller communities than Newburgh and Beacon, so the absolute numbers are quite a bit smaller. However, you can still see a really significant uptick with quarters 2, 3, and 4, especially. And obviously, we'll have more data the longer we continue to have this active. Quarter 1 kind of still is falling within the same norms. We had 47 even after opening it, but as we said before, seasonality in the winter months is going to be a much bigger controller compared to whether or not the actual walkways are open and lit. And again, the big difference between Rip and Newburgh was that there was a very quick uptick in terms of people crossing. Prior to introducing this, we still had a pretty constant number of pedestrians who would approach the bridge. Some would see the sidewalks were closed and turn around, so they weren't counted in those numbers. But after the sidewalks actually being open, maybe those people who were deterred from crossing are now able to safely. Rip was also relatively soft open. There wasn't a lot of public promotion, but despite that, we still saw a pretty significant increase. So if the goal is to help people be aware, it seems that we don't need significant promotion efforts to accomplish that goal. So, like I said, we saw a difference in adoption patterns. Newburgh took longer, Rip didn't take as long. The lighting was a big deal, obviously both towards getting people to adopt it and feeling safe crossing, as well as our own security and being able to make sure people are safe crossing. Again, this really helps people who may only have access to bicycles, motorized scooters, their own ability to walk to gain access back and forth. And yeah, so these continuous sidewalk access programs with targeted lighting improvements have led to increases in overnight pedestrian activity that we may have hoped to see when we originally adopted this.
Great.
Does anyone have any questions?
Have we shared this information with the public safety community in, state police and then the local police, Newburgh, Beacon, and Catskill, Hudson, to see if they have any thoughts on what the numbers show?
I don't think we have quite yet.
Okay.
As soon as Danielle's back,
I think that would be great because, they're important partners in making sure these initiatives are a success.
And on the engineering maintenance side, I would like to add that the lighting that we're utilizing our Home Depot type garden, solar lighting.
Yeah.
And we've had to do some engineering modifications for our attachments.
Okay.
But
they're working.
They're working.
Great.
Yeah, the pictures are striking.
Pictures are. Questions from?
Do we actively promote folks to walk? No. Okay, so these are just explorers.
In the Rip Van Winkle in particular, we decided to adopt the light because we saw a large uptick in people using the decks at night because they felt there was more light in the deck, as you saw that in the. So we wanted to avoid that, so we decided to put the light, but we didn't advertise. But they noticed that as soon as you step in, the lights come in. So more people are using now.
Did you officially change the hours of Rip?
No.
But at Newburgh Beacon, we did.
At Newburgh
Beacon,
Beacon,
we
we
did.
Yeah.
And there was a specific, it was more, rather than us doing an outreach, there was specific demand, if I recall.
It was
From the community so that they could.
There was no
Right.
public transportation after.
Right,
certain
certain hours.
So people that ended work in Beacon couldn't get home.
the two communities in Newburgh and Beacon specifically asked for it because a lot of the restaurants the Beacon, the employees came from Newburgh and they didn't have access, so.
So one of the good things is that we use the data to inform our policy. So in Newburgh, the community came, so we reacted and, the board approved that they open in the RIP. We saw the need because we saw too many people traversing the decks and that's dangerous.
Right.
So we decided to do a soft, study to put the lights and see what happens. And now we see that it works. So if the board were to decide that they want to keep it open, they will have to do a resolution and we will keep it open. Officially open.
That explains why this year, we'll take it one up, but
Yeah.
it's not public policy.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Not yet. With the public policy, we do we go into, Chris goes into advertising mode.
Yeah.
And press releases and talking to the community, the radio station. And then you see all of a sudden, a lot of people coming in. We haven't done that for the RIP. In RIP, we just wanted people off the deck.
I was actually surprised at the numbers on the RIP because the population centers on the Newburgh Beacon are much
Yeah.
closer
Right.
to the bridges, but they're spread out more geographically on the RIP.
Yeah.
So that
They
was-
have MNR, the station. I thought that in Newburgh, it would be a faster uptake and it was the opposite.
Yeah.
We should interview who are the people crossing at night at the RIP. I'm like,
The next question.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be great to gather some feedback of why.
Yeah,
right?
right, and it doesn't have to be scientifically.
Yeah.
Right.
It can be anecdotal, which
Yeah.
would be helpful.
And if we get a significant increase, we could start charging.
Oh, yeah.
I keep thinking of, I keep thinking of blazing
Very
saddles,
creative. Yeah, yeah,
Put up the toll.
put up with all. All right. Thank you so much, James. That was very, very informative. We have no old business, any new business from the board members?
No, I just want to say that I realize the stress and the responsibility of sitting in this seat, and I give Marie Bruni being able to differentiate here. It is tough. It's certainly ball rolling.
All right, so with that, our next meeting, which is our budget meeting, as Brian said, is scheduled for September 18th, the regular board meeting. The briefings will be scheduled ahead of that. And board members, if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to reach out to Minoshka or anybody on the team. Do I have a motion to adjourn today's meeting?
No move.
Thank you, Alex. Do I have a second? Thank you, Roger. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Enjoy the remainder. Well, we'll still be summer in